it happens, live,
Hi everyone, we're here today at the Baseball Heritage Museum with Derrick Johnson. Derrick, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, thank you.
Derrick Johnson is, I guess, our League Park Academy's first graduating member, and he is off to Tufts University this fall to study engineering. And the Baseball Heritage Museum just wanted to have Derrick in and have a little chat with us and tell us about his experiences growing up with baseball, growing up in Cleveland with baseball, the Baseball Heritage Museum, and how League Park Academy has affected his journey with baseball and his future plans. So, Derrick, let's start with how you got into baseball.
Yeah, so baseball was my dad's favorite sport. So as soon as I was able to walk, he put it back in my hand. And I remember us being in the backyard, with tennis balls and little squishy baseballs, and we having a little batting practice in the backyard. And I remember on one occasion, this was the turning point where he knew that it was time to play hardball. We were playing in the backyard, and I hit my bedroom window off the side of the house and said, you know what, I think it's time to start playing for real. So after that moment, I started playing coach pitch down at E.J. Kavasic Recreation Center, Coach Puccini. So he was my first real coach besides my dad. So about, I'd say, 10 years old, this is when I started playing competitively. And since then, it's been my number one love, my number one pastime.
So what position do you play?
I'm an outfielder. Through high school, I pitched, I played shortstop here and there, but across my timeline playing baseball, center field, outfield has been not only my favorite position, but my main position.
So as a favorite position, do you have a favorite player that inspires you? Who's that?
Absolutely. So my first coach, my dad's from Pittsburgh. My dad's a native of Pittsburgh. And my first coach, Coach Puccini down at E.J. Kavasic, was from Puerto Rico. So this guy over here, Roberto Clemente, that was the first person that they preached to me. And as I got older a little bit, I started to get interested in like the flashiness, and Bo Jackson became my favorite baseball player. I used to watch all the 30 for 30s, and just the guy was absolutely amazing. But currently, and for about, I'll say about 5 years now, my favorite player has been Griffey Jr. Absolutely. And I don't think it'll change. The only person I can see it changing for is maybe Frankie a little later, since he's from my hometown, playing for the Indians. But Ken Griffey Jr. Playing in an era like the steroid eras in the 90s, all the speculations, all the controversies, everything. In my opinion, I feel like he was one of the only players in that era to do it the right way, to do it clean. He played my position. He's African American like me. And he just played the game with a smile. Last year, my junior year, summer season, when I was, around the time period when you're taking the SATs, ACTs, looking for college, I knew that I wanted to continue playing baseball in college. And I put a little bit of pressure on myself. Some pressure is good, but I put a little bit too much pressure on myself. I want to do this, I want to get committed, I want to get scouted and recruited. And it just took me back to Ken Griffey. Just always plays the game with a smile. Just always plays it fun.
So what do you think is the biggest contributing factor that you take away from Ken Griffey's play, other than his work ethic, his overall style, his attitude?
Probably his attitude, just the positivity he played with. He battled injuries really bad through the middle and later part of his career when he was with Cincinnati and then Chicago for a little bit, and back to Seattle. Just the smile that he played the game with, turn the hat backwards. The kid, that's his nickname.
Yeah.
He played the game like a kid, and I feel like at sometimes we forget that baseball is a game, and we get in over our heads, and we take a little bit too much anger out of it. Just have fun.
Yeah, you can kind of parallel that with general life rules.
Absolutely.
Don't take it too seriously. Have a little bit of fun with it, and hopefully it'll all work out. So let's talk a little bit about League Park Academy. What has that done for you? How's it affected you? How's it guided your career choices, your education choices? Let's talk about that.
So I'm a resident of Huff. This neighborhood, actually, I live about 7 minutes, a little bit up the street. And besides my recreation years, I started off playing baseball in recreation centers here in Cleveland. I played travel ball, and all the serious competitive baseball that I played in, I had to go outside Cleveland to get to. I had to go to the suburbs and surrounding cities. League Park, in the League Park Baseball Academy, has not only provided me with a competitive baseball program that has enhanced my skill set, but it has also given me the ability to partake in a passion that I love passionately right here in my own neighborhood. I started off playing fall ball about 3 years ago now, and then the program has grown. We've brought in the people here at League Park brought in some great teachers and some leaders as far as coaches go, and administrators, and we've this year, 2020 was our first travel year. With COVID going on and everything, I was surprised that we were able to get a season in, but even with everything going on, I'm glad it happened.
Speaking of coaches, let's talk about Coach Murphy a little bit.
Murphy.
Yeah. So how has he impacted your baseball career, and how has he supported you out of League Park Academy and going forward in the Tufts?
So he is a walking encyclopedia of baseball. I mean, there's some teachers, in my opinion, talking about school and just anything. The greatest teachers don't need to teach from a lesson plan or a book or something like that. They can teach from their own personal experience and stuff. And that's Jay Murphy, 100%. By far one of the most knowledgeable coaches I've ever had the pleasure of playing under. He's the fundamentals are big for him, and he does not forget about the fundamentals. He's not all about the flashy, the home run, this and that. Focus on A and B before you get to X, Y, Z. So I've known him for about 5 years now. I actually met him at League Park. I was participating in batting practice. He'll tell everybody his batting practice is perfect. He doesn't throw any balls.
How'd you do?
I did pretty well.
Yeah.
I did pretty well. But this last year and this year were my first 2 years playing for him. I played for him in fall ball last year, and I played under him and his son Tommy Murphy this year with the Cleveland Buckeyes. But so last year he knew me, and I was going through the college process and applying and stuff like that. And Tufts was my #1 choice, and I expressed that to him. I said, coming up in a couple of weeks here, Coach, I'm going to be going out to a prospect camp at Tufts. Evaluate me. What do you think I need to work on? What do you think is best for me to showcase there? What do you think I shouldn't really showcase? And take time improving on. And he's real. He broke everything down to me. He's just a tremendous help. And he not only told me what I needed to fix, he showed me how to fix it. And he gave his tidbits and stuff. But with the experiences he had and the levels he's worked at Division I baseball, all across the board, he's offered a lot of tremendous help to me. It's been really beneficial.
So let's move on to Tufts. So you graduated from
The Cleveland School of Science and Medicine at John Hay.
pretty great, and now you're going to Tufts, and you're going to be studying
Engineering.
And how is baseball going to how is baseball going to fit into your studies?
So, like I said, my mom will tell you, education is the most important thing in our household. My brother was an athlete as well, played football and basketball. He ultimately made the decision after high school to stop playing a competitive education. I love the game of baseball. Before I did my college recruiting, I did a realistic, analyzation of my skill set, and I felt that Division III was the best route for me. So, although I was doing, what major I'm going to do besides school, what internships, opportunities that they have, I also fit in that D3 baseball opportunity there too. And I filtered out some schools. Case Western Reserve was a great option. I looked at Washington University, St. Louis, the Rochester Institute of Technology, but Tufts, they blew me away across the board. I try not to be a box checker, but they checked off every box off the list in terms of my interests. So last year I visited twice, once on the academic side, I was accepted to a fly-in opportunity, and on the second side, athletically, I went to Boston for the baseball showcase camp. I was able to showcase my skills, and through keeping a great contact with the coaches and stuff, and after getting accepted into the school, I'm still going to get the opportunity to walk onto the team and show my athletic interests and stuff.
Brilliant. That's
Yeah.
great. So, real quick, back to Lee Park Academy. What do you think is the most important component of Lee Park Academy that the Huff neighborhood, city of Cleveland, the youth of the city can take away from Lee Park Academy?
I'll say the biggest aspect about it is history, honoring history, and then taking it and wanting to start something for the future. I mean, we're just absolutely blessed to play in such an amazing facility with so much history, and all that has happened, not only, in this community, but on this field. And then the players that have played here, the teams that have won here, our namesake, the Cleveland Buckeyes, who won a Negro League World Championship, honoring the history, because I don't care what anybody says, we are the most, historic, arguably the most historic baseball team in this state, besides the major league teams and college teams. And taking our history, not forgetting it, but honoring it, and then carrying that with us to create a legacy for the future. We play in Cleveland, and typically in the inner cities, football is the big sport, and then there's basketball and stuff, and baseball is kind of left into the shadows. So kind of turning the tables a little bit, using this amazing facility we have and the space to grow, and then increase the interest for this amazing sport.
All right, so lastly, I want you to look at the camera and imagine you're talking to your young self, another the 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old kid out there trying to hit the side of his house with his baseball. And what's something you can tell him that he can take away, that he can maybe work on, he or she can work on, and move forward and aim for their dreams and aspirations?
Well, in anything, whether it's baseball or football, even if it's not a sport, if it's a career, if it's a subject in school, whatever your aspirations are, take every day as an opportunity to get better. And not only will you come across some hardships sometimes and failures and stuff, take failure as a lesson and just try to have fun. We're lucky all to be alive, and then if we find something we're really passionate about, we just drive that out as long as we can and just have fun with it and try your best.
That's great. Thank you, Derrick.
Absolutely.
Baseball Heritage Museum, Lee Park Academy, we're super proud of you. Good luck this fall, good luck in the future. If we can ever help, you let us know. Thanks for joining us today. Baseball Heritage Museum at Historic Lee Park. Open Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 3, baseballheritagemuseum.org. Talk to you soon. Thank you.